Blessings and positive energy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to do a reading with the Black Light Tarot. And before I start, I am going to quickly do a size comparison for this deck versus the Oliver Hibbert Tarot deck. Both decks are, this is the lovely pouch the Oliver Hibbert Tarot deck came with, by the way. Both decks are very psychedelic. The imagery is very, very vibrant for both cards. I like vibrant imagery. I have flipped through videos of both of these decks on my channel. So if you're interested in seeing the individual cards, just scroll through the videos. And both decks came with bonus cards. So the bonus card for the Black Light Tarot was the Tripping Squirrel. And as I mentioned before in a previous video, this is it's black light. So if you hold it under black light, you know, it gets very fluorescent, very beautiful. And hopefully I'll have a video soon showing that. And the bonus card that came with the Oliver Hibbert deck was this card, Magic. And I really, really, really love the imagery. It also came in a little plastic pouch. This is the back of the Oliver Hibbert deck. And I'm just going to show the two cards on top of each other. And as you can see, they're almost a perfect fit. And both cardstock are also very similar in terms of the sturdiness, the feel. I feel like maybe this one is just a smidge thicker. I'm not sure. But they feel very, 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 very similar. And both of them are just really excellent decks to work with. Like I said, I love the vibrant imagery and I love the feel of the cards. So this was just a comparison. But today the focus is going to be the Black Light Tarot. So like I showed previously, in addition to the bonus card, it also came with two equivalents for the World card and the Fool card. So I have a video showing these, but these are the two that I will not use in the reading today. And the others I will use. So I am going to do this reading and I'm going to include in the shuffle the bonus card, the Tripping Squirrel. So there are going to be 79 cards used in the shuffle today, right? And like I said before, I love when decks come with bonus cards. It just allows just a smidge more of intuition and just feeling. And I always feel as if, I don't know, the card always has that exact meaning, because as you know, there are more or less strict meanings with the cards in the traditional tarot deck, in both the major arcana and minor arcana. And I do have a number of oracle decks as well, and I do love those additional meanings that come with those bonus cards and being able to pull a little extra from the deck. I don't usually do them in readings, however. And if I do, I will tell someone, okay, I have a deck with a bonus card. How do you feel about me using the bonus card in the reading? I always think persons should know, because a lot of persons come for tarot readings and they're coming for the traditional cards found in the major and minor arcana. So I always believe that if you're using additional cards, it's something that you should tell the individual that you're, you know, having the reading for. And as I also said in a previous video, I sometimes shuffle and draw all three cards from the top of the deck. Yes, this card is ready. However, today I feel as if the three cards are not sitting at the top. And I generally just shuffle with my intuition. So if I feel as if the three cards are not there, like even though this dropped out, I don't feel like this is the card. If this is drawn later, this will be very interesting. But I just didn't feel like that was the card. I stop when I feel, you know, that feeling. Like just like my hand feels it. You know, when it's time to stop for each card. So this card right here. That's sneaking out. So these are the three cards that the universe led me to today. So let's see. We have the High Priestess from the Major Arcana. The Three of Swords. And the Four of Pentacles. That's very, very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting read. As you can see, all of the cards are very, very psychedelic, very bright, very beautiful. And I'm going to be using the guidebook that came with it so you can get a feel and see of what the guidebook is like. Like I said before, it comes with very brief meanings. So here's what the writer on the High Priestess. Intuition, sacred knowledge, sometimes referred to as the Shikahina. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, so basically intuition, sacred knowledge for the High Priestess card. So the readings are very minimum in this deck. However, I go with what I feel from the cards and what I feel the universe is trying to tell me right now. So for the High Priestess, and this is just a close-up so you can see this card, I feel as if this is, and like I said, this isn't a strict past, present, future reading. Even though that's more calling down with 3 cards, this is more the 3 messages almost that the universe has for us. And the first pillar on that journey is that we're going to tap into our sacred intuition. We're going to tap into that sacred knowledge. We're going to tap into an understanding of the sacred geometry in this world. So when I speak of sacred geometry, I'm speaking of the very fabric of our universe around us, the signs that are in our universe, the messages that are being delivered day by day. And I don't mean what pops up more frequently on your social media. I don't mean, you know, that video that, you know, your friend showed you. I'm talking about when you step outside and you just have this feeling like, maybe I should take a moment to sit in nature and take a breath, or maybe I should call that friend or that person that I haven't spoken to her for a while. Maybe I should reach out to a parent, you know. Maybe I should give the first person I meet $5 today, you know. When you have those whispers from the universe, I'm talking about those messages. So for example, when I set up today to have this reading, I was actually in a different room, in a different scene, and I realized like it's a very beautiful day. You can't see the scenery in front of me, but I'm actually looking at my garden and it's raining outside. And like I just felt that whisper, like this is where you're supposed to do this reading. You're supposed to pull from nature for this reading. You're supposed to be looking outside into the world as you speak to, you know, whoever's listening to you today. Because the message that you have isn't going to, even though it's coming from your mouth, from your words, it's really coming from nature today. And I felt like a very strong energy from Mother Nature beckoning me to deliver her message today. And yeah, I'm speaking of that knowledge and these bits of information, these bites of knowledge and data that we have in the universe, and using these things to guide us in life and to make decisions for us in life. So I'm not saying to blindly just, all right, you know, let me not think of my choices. Let me just, you know, kumbaya. I'm saying that when we have these difficult challenges in our life, whatever they mean, when we have these difficult decisions in our life, that we tap into that knowledge that is inside of us, rather than always looking outside for the answers or the wisdom coming, to tap into ourselves. And as we look at this card, because remember, we're looking at the card for the message that we have today, we see this eye on top of her, this sacred eye, the third eye. We're saying open up yourself, you know, to the universe, as she is here sitting open, ready, receiving in her eye. And her eye is it's a big eye. It's actually bigger than the 2 eyes on her face. This is saying that this eye can see more. I'm saying that it can receive more messages, and it feels so clear in this imagery that we can receive more messages from the universe than we can necessarily even see from our own eyes and from what we can perceive in the physical world that is laid before us. And then as we look around her, again, we look at all the beauty, you know, that's surrounding her. And perhaps this is just me, and like I said, this is my interpretation of the card. And what's interesting to me when I do my readings is I can look at the same card 10 times and I can tell you 10 different things each time. But this time when I look at it, I almost see this. I don't know if you'll see it, but it almost looks a bit like she's sitting in front of a womb almost. So I feel like there's this connection to the womb, to the birth, to this life force, to the life that we all have. And when I speak of this womb, I'm not just speaking of the physical womb that women have versus men saying, you know, men don't have it. I'm not saying that women are more in touch or more keen to this birth or this knowledge. I'm saying this womb, because we all originated from a womb, right? And I'm saying this womb, this innocence, this knowledge, this power that we had when that moment happened and we were born. When that moment happened and an idea is born. When we have that spurt of information, of wisdom, of creation, like, this is an idea. This is a great idea. I'm going to do this idea. When we have that, I'm saying that this is the sacred knowledge. This is the sacred geometry. This is the key of the universe that we have to log into, download, you know, gather, and use it to guide us and help us make these decisions. So these, like I said, this isn't a past, present, future reading. This is a 3 pillars reading. And the first pillar is us logging on to this sacred knowledge, this sacred wisdom that we have, right? That we have within ourselves by opening our third eye, by cleansing and clearing our chakras, by logging into the universe. Not doing your video or your work or your project, whatever you're working on, don't do it in the room like I was doing. You know, I actually turned on the light. It's a beautiful afternoon, and I turned on the light inside of the room because that's where I was going to do this video. And then I felt that whisper from the universe saying, no, do it, you know, by your door. Do it by the glass door looking out into your garden. This is where you're meant to do it, because you're pulling from nature, you're pulling from universe. So don't lock yourself in. You know, that's not how you give birth to ideas. Open yourself. Open your eyes, your third eye, and download these messages that are waiting for you from the universe. So that's what I got from this first card. And that was a lot. So just take a minute and just, you know, receive that message. And the second card is the 3 of Swords. So I'm going to flip to the 3 of Swords. And we have Swords. All right. So for 3 of Swords, very, very, you know, basic 3 lines, meaning sharp words that hurt the heart, sorrow and separation. Maybe the family is broken or a divorce is on the horizon. So this is almost a predictive one, because it's saying maybe the family, your family's broken, or a divorce, or something bad is happening. You know, sharp words, they hurt the heart. So as I look at this, I'm saying that this isn't necessarily a prediction. This isn't necessarily saying that pain or agony, divorce, heartbreak is coming your way. I'm saying what this is more of is a caution. This is a cautionary tale this card is delivering to you today. This card is telling you that when you take this wisdom, this sacred knowledge, sacred geometry, when you have this and you're existing in this, you know, this heightened level, this heightened soul for yourself, and you're going through life, be careful of what you say. You know, be careful of the energy you put out into the universe. And not only that, be careful of what you take in. Because remember, we are talking about downloading things from the universe. We're talking about absorbing things and tapping into this sacred knowledge. But, you know, we are people that we tend to, like a sponge, we tend to absorb what we are supposed to. So if you're downloading, if you're receiving these messages from the universe, if you're making decisions based on what the universe is telling you, what universe are you creating? Are you in a universe where you're surrounding yourself with heartache, with negativity, with pain, with horror? What exactly are you surrounding yourself with? And this is something that I had to learn myself, because even on my social media, right? I'm old-fashioned, so I use Facebook. I am not, you know, I try the TikTok, the TikTok app, but I'm not, you know, I've never made a video. I am back with Facebook. And, you know, I found myself, you know, going online, and I started to say, you know, social media is negative. You know, I started to say, you know, every time I log on to Facebook or even Instagram, I'm being bombarded with all this negative information, negative news, negative stories, persons being upset with life, persons being angry, so much anger. When I talk about negativity, I'm not just talking about sadness or persons going through hardship. I'm talking about anger, so much anger in the world. And I started saying that social media was negative. But it was wrong. It wasn't social media that was necessarily negative. It was what I was exposing myself to on social media. It was what I was following, the channels, the people, the environment I was placing myself into. And I realized, you know what? I'm a spiritual being. Why am I not following more spiritual pages? Why am I not following more spiritual people? And I had this awakening, and I just was like, I'm going to start doing this. I am going to start following more spiritual pages, more spiritual people, and everything, my entire outlook on social media changed because I wasn't inviting the hurt and the pain into my life anymore. And then I said, you know what, why stop at social media? I'm going to do this with friends and the family. And I started setting clear boundaries for myself and telling persons, I love you. You want to be in my life. Don't bring pain. And I stopped accepting hurt. I stopped accepting pain. I stopped accepting heartbreak. I surrounded myself with positive, spiritual, loving, kind beings. It was hard. It was it was rough, guys. But I did it. And it really changed my entire outlook and feeling in life. Because when I started surrounding myself with positivity, when I started locking in to those persons that, had a smile. Yeah, they were going through tough times, they're broke. At least financially broke, but they weren't spiritually broke. And that's what's important. Sometimes people are going to have the worst financial situation ever, but they're rich. They are wealthy in their soul. And I started surrounding myself with people that were wealthy in their soul. And it got exciting for me. And if you try, you realize it gets exciting for you. So I feel like this is a message the card is trying to tell you. It's telling you, you can get excited. You can feel love. You don't have to have pain. But you have to be conscious of the environment. You have to be conscious that right on your horizon could be heartbreak, negativity, friendships breaking, job opportunities, everything falling apart if you place yourselves in those environments. And I changed it. I stopped seeking financial rewards, over everything else. So I actually changed my job. I didn't change my profession, but I changed my job. And when I was looking for a new job, I didn't go for the best paying job. I went for the job with the people that had the best energy. And I started bringing in and drawing myself and latching on to people with good energy. And not just that, but putting out and sharing good energy with those people too. And this is what this card is really delivering. When we create these environments, is what we also bring to the environment. So I myself had some changes to do. And when I did that, everything changed. I'm happy now. I'm actually happy. And it took a long while to reach this point. And it's not easy because I went through a lot of times where there was a lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, on my horizon. But I had to make those changes. So here I am telling you that in your life right now, you may be in your Three of Swords moment. They may be swords literally stabbing you in the heart. They may be emotional daggers. So that's why I say literally, because I believe that when it comes to our pain, we only use literal to apply for when something physically has happened. I think they could be emotional daggers, literally piercing your heart. I think they could be spiritual daggers, literally piercing your heart. And maybe that's why you found my video today. I think that your Three of Swords moment is now removing these daggers and removing yourself from situations that are negative and finding yourself in more positive environments. I think this is your moment to make sure that you move past the Three of Swords, right? I really, really think that. So look at these swords. Ask yourself, what are the swords piercing my heart? What are the swords piercing my spiritual being? And when you identify them, remove them. Whether they're people, whether it's a job, whether it's an account you follow on social media, family or friend, remove your swords and your life will change. So, second pillar. So now we move on to the Four of Pentacles. So I'm going to bring out the book again. And we're going to flip back to the Pentacles. And it says here, a card of saving, economy, and thrift. Make it a little, go a long way. Smart spending. So, smart spending. Now, the thing about Pentacles is that we usually think of earthly possessions when it comes to Pentacles, right? It's very related to the earth, right? It has earth energy with us. But do not think because it's Pentacles, and a lot of times in that Pentacles are, even sometimes called coins. Don't restrict this to finances and money, right? So when we're talking about making a little go a wrong way and smart spending, we're not necessarily just saying finances. Be wise financially though. That's important. But we're not just talking finances. We are talking about your spiritual energy. We're talking about your emotional energy. We're talking about your physical energy. We're talking about how many hours you have in daylight and what you do with them. This is smart spending. So look at him. Look at the individual in the card, right? And look at how they're holding their pentacles. They're kind of keeping them all, right? How are you keeping your assets, your resources in life? How are you spending your limited assets and resources in life? What are you doing with them? What are your practices? Are you waking up in the morning and spending 2-3 hours on social, or even half an hour on social media, on pages you don't like? Are you going to work and spending 8 hours at a job you don't like? Are you coming home to a relationship and spending your evening, that you don't like? Are you going out with friends that, deep down you don't like? Are you smoking? Let's go to the habits we have. Are you picking up a cigarette every day and smoking and doing something that you don't really enjoy, but it's a habit, so let's keep doing it? Are you drinking? Are you eating a entire chocolate cake every day for the sheer joy of sugar rushing through your body? What are you doing? How are you spending your time, your energy? How are you existing in this world? Where are you putting your limited resources? Your time. And time is such a precious resource. Your energy, your waking hours, even sleep. Yes, I dare to say even sleep. How are you sleeping? Are you sleeping and stressing and worrying throughout the night? And that one is a very, very, very real, important, major one for me. So I'm going to share something. I do not sleep well, right? And it is one of the things, like I said, I think this card was actually meant for me because I am receiving a message from this card today. It's hard sometimes. It's hard all the time. If you have issues with sleep, it's hard controlling your sleep, what you dream about, what you think, because it's your subconscious, right? It's not your active mind where you can say, all right, stop thinking about this now. Stop doing this. It's your subconscious. But what are you putting in your mind during the day? And how is it affecting you during the night? Are you watching violent pictures? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with watching certain movies. I'm saying, how is it affecting you? Do you notice that when you watch certain pictures, you know, you sleep worse than when you watch others? Do you notice that when you eat a bag of chips before you go to sleep, you tend to have a worse night? What, you know, is affecting you? For me, I find that, you know, I get cravings at night. I get sweet cravings. And I always go for I drink a lot of fruit juices and stuff like that, but they're very sweet. And what I found works better for me, a simple change. Same fruit, but instead of drinking a fruit juice that might have in a lot of extra sugars, I eat watermelon slices. No, it's still fruit, but it's in a different and I think more natural composition when you eat just the watermelon. And that small change actually helps me settle better. Another thing that helps me settle better is chamomile tea. You know, drinking some chamomile tea. Another thing that helps me settle better is a bath rather than a shower. So taking a bath, you know, in the night rather than, you know, going in the shower and stepping out for 5 minutes. Letting my body actually relax. Because we're talking about limited resources, limited time, both in our day and our night. Another thing I do every night, and this might surprise some of you, and I really hope it doesn't offend anyone, but I talk to God every night. I pray to God every night. I know a lot of persons always ask me, like, you know, you talk about Mother Nature. Sometimes I talk about the Orishas. You know, I talk about hearing from the universe. I use tarot, I use oracle. You know, how can you still talk to God? And my answer is because, you know, God is there. And God helps me. And God guides me. The same way Mother Nature guides me. You know, the same way the universe guides me. There are all these spirits and these angels. And there's so much love in the universe that is there to guide us, to help us, to heal us. So why should I turn my back on one because I'm listening to the other, right? So I talk to God every night and that helps me sleep better. So sometimes I'm really tired, but I tell myself, you know what? I'm still going to do it. Another thing that helps me is tarot and oracle, drawing cards every day. You know, taking the few moments and, you know, there are times like now where I'm approaching half an hour long doing a reading. There are times like now where, you know, it takes a while and the readings, you know, I feel so much information I'm receiving from the cards. So there are times that a reading can take a long because then I like to sit with the cards. I like to meditate with the cards. It actually, the one of my oracle cards took me about 2 weeks to work through. And for 2 weeks, I was just meditating with this card, journaling with this card, and every time I looked at it, I got a different message, different information from the universe, and I just kept receiving information, so much information. And I feel sometimes, you know, we have that, and how, you know, spending that time working through the blockages we have in life, the shortcomings, the challenges, the obstacles, that is never a waste of time because we're better from it. So we're talking about spending our time, spending our resources, spending smartly. So that is what we should do spiritually, emotionally, physically. Spend what we have smartly. Another thing that jumps out from me in this particular card is the background. It almost looks as if there are buildings behind the individual. So they're sitting, and behind them is the world, the physical, concrete jungle, might I say, that is behind them. So when we're talking about the time we spend, how do you spend your time, especially in the physical world? How do you spend your time at work? You know, do you just go to work, do the work, and leave? I did that for a while. It didn't work for me. What I found works for me is going to work and checking in with my coworkers. How are you doing? How are you feeling? You know, not crossing any boundaries. I always tell persons coworkers are not necessarily friends. However, they're humans and I care about life. I care about humans. I care about people. So checking in, you know, using my experiences to help others. How am I spending my time when I'm in this building? Am I just putting myself in a place where there are 4 walls surrounding me? Or am I putting myself in a place where there are people surrounding me? Am I putting myself in a place where there's work surrounding me? Or am I putting myself in a place where there's love surrounding me? You know? How do you spend your time in the physical world? And when I started examining how I was spending my time, it all changed, right? So we start here downloading from the universe. We start here opening our eye and looking for that sacred knowledge, that sacred geometry, that sacred intuition. Then we look at our environments, the second pillar, and we remove those sores, those negativities, those bad things. We don't need these in our life. We want to avoid heartbreak. We want to avoid hurt. You know, hurt, pain comes in life. It's natural, but we don't have to be in a toxic environment every day. We do not. If you're telling yourself that life is always toxicity, that life is nothing but pain and hurt, you're wrong. I am telling you, you are wrong. Life does not have to just be pain. I say that. Okay? So you can go and you can tell whoever is telling you that all life is unbearable and all life is suffering, you can tell that person, I say they are wrong. Your life can be full of love. Look at that heart. Look at that heart that's being pierced by the sword. Look at how beautiful that heart is. That heart wants love. Life is love. God is love. The universe is love. Mother Nature is love. Angels are love. You can tap into that love. But how? Spend your time smartly. Budget your resources. Balance your resources. See where you're giving what. Examine how you spend every moment in the physical world, in the waking world, in the sleeping world. Create a life using the sacred knowledge that you can access. Create a life that does not have daggers piercing you through your heart, where you spend your time wisely and you are truly surrounding yourself with happiness and positivity. So this was a very long reading. If you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having the patience to see it through, to hear it through. And I hope my words truly help you. You know, you can subscribe to the channel. You can click the bell for notifications. You can like the video. You can comment. I love comments. You can comment. You can do all those things. But even if you do none of those things, even if you watch this one video and never look at another video I do, take the positives or the parts of this video that could help you in your life and truly use it. And I will be so happy.